We were talking about the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith bombshell soft copy from yesterday. Jada Pinkett has a new memoir coming out called Worthy, and she did an interview with Hoda Kotb on the Today Show. They've just leaked a little bit of the interview. And in the leaks, you find out she and Will Smith have been living apart since 2016, which was a shocker to everyone. And of course, Hoda Kotb said, well, why not just get divorced?
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
So that means they had been living separately 6 years when he slapped Chris Rock on the stage at the Oscars.
And he said, take my wife's name out your mouth.
Out your mouth. And now people are going like,
who wife? What wife?
What wife? You're not even.
Do you deserve an Oscar for that performance?
I mean,
good point, Biggie.
Yes. I mean, I bet Chris Rock is like, what?
And in the role of angry husband. Playing an angry husband when he's not.
I'm just shocked. Even though I just, like you said, I'm not that into this story. It is a real surprise. And Hoda said, well, why not announce that you're separated?
I feel like you're a straight talker.
I am.
Except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So
that's a Chris Kelly mode. I feel like you're a straight talker. I am. Except you're not. That's right.
Yep, that's right.
What a moment.
I feel like you're a straight talker.
I am.
Except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us how to be in partnership, right? In regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
So they've been living a bit of a lie here for 7 years.
Yeah, they were like, the Hollywood power couple.
Yeah, and she's on that podcast talking all about their relationship and everything. And then remember there was all that rumor that she cheated and he let her.
He was a cuckold.
He's a cuckold, but they stayed together. And it's like, but that's a lie. They've been lying for 7 years.
And, a lot of people, when all this happened, blamed her a lot. Said that, she's really done a number on Will Smith. And I'd like to say that I now completely co-sign with those people.
Yeah.
I think she's a little nutty. I think she has done a number on Will Smith. And I think it's because how do you sit there and be like, well, we couldn't really find a reason. I told him I'd never divorce him. Yeah. That's just messing with the man's mind. I mean, living apart, not getting divorced, but separated.
But you think if they're that high profile, which they are, he's probably had other relationships in those 7 years.
Well, let me say this,
right?
There was a movie, a little scene movie of his, which I actually like, called Focus. And it starred him with Margot Robbie. And there was rumors that he and Margot Robbie hooked up on the set.
Oh, really?
And that he cheated. And, of course, he batted those away and she batted them away. But now, who knows? I mean, the timing would be right about that separation time. And, of course, we do know she admitted what she called her, I forget, her situationship or whatever she called it.
Yeah, she changed it.
She with this singer named August Alsina, who, people said she was cheating. But now she was separated, so it wasn't really cheating.
Well, they're separated, but they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not living together.
I mean, we all know couples who have split. And, sometimes you do keep things quiet. You don't tell your friends. You don't tell your kids if they're young, but their kids are adults.
Right.
The Will and Jada's kids are adults.
I think, don't you think they stay together for the power of it, for the whatever, the Hollywood look?
I mean, her excuses are very strange.
They are.
I broke up. I didn't want to break a promise to myself. We hadn't figured out how to present it. I mean, clearly this book is going to accelerate the whole process.
Yeah.
And so...
well, you think they'll split now? They'll. I mean, it's been announced.
It sure seems likely, but who knows?
It's a strange
And there
thing.
was a rumor, and Biggie, I don't know if you saw this too. It didn't make much sense to me in the timeline, but apparently one of the headlines in one of the columns said that Chris Rock asked Jada out.
Yeah, like years ago.
After they had split.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Post 2016.
Maybe that's why Will
So
Smith...
maybe he felt, like you're coming at my... But she's not, and you're not.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, maybe Will Smith had some pent-up anger toward Chris Rock. Like, hey,
the world thinks I'm a cuckold. Yeah. You're trying to date my
wife.
Former wife.
Yes. Sort of wife.
Yeah. And he just snapped.
Well, sometimes, I just get angry for no reason. A lot of times I'll wake up and be like,
Yeah.
I'm mad. I don't know why.
Well, you're a straight talker.
I am.
Except when you're not.
That's right. What a great, that moment, just that 5 seconds.
I feel like you're a straight talker,
I am.
except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's the essence. There's the essence right there.
Except you're not, right?
Yep. You got it.
Well said.
You're a straight shooter. Always.
Always. Except when you're not. Right.
Bingo.
Luke, you're talking about Will and Jada now. Go ahead.
Just a possibility. Maybe it's all got something to do with Scientology.
You know what? Who knows? I mean, because doesn't Will, is he full Scientologist or like
I don't know.
borderline Scientologist?
I don't know. Is he a Scientologist, Luke?
That was my impression. I thought that had something to do with the slap tooth.
I think he is. Oh, the slap also. Well, and do Scientologists not believe in getting divorced? Because Tom Cruise has sure been through some divorces.
Yeah.
But maybe. I don't know.
I don't know any rules about divorce.
But, another thing she says is, and this apparently is in the book and will probably come out in this interview, is when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, she was as surprised as anybody. She's like, what are you doing?
She thought it was a joke?
Yeah, she thought it was a joke. Yeah. And she's like, what are you doing? But
And then he sat down.
Yeah.
Will came back to the seat in the auditorium.
Yeah.
And she said, are you okay?
Yeah. Like, what's going on? However, she sure looked mad, when Chris Rock said that. I mean, her face, I always thought, and I think we heard that day that he looked at her face and, oh, she's mad. I got to do something. Walked up there and slapped Chris Rock.
Is this a book, Kelly, that your wife will read? The Jada book?
50-50 on that. She might. She is intrigued by that story, so it's a possibility. And she's a hefty reader now. She'll read a lot.
That's what I mean, yeah.
It's a real possibility, yeah. She may do that.
It's not for you.
No, it'll be above me.
You're an avid reader.
Yes, I am.
Until you're not.
That's right. It's my second favorite Today Show moment other than Mama Kelsey.
I feel like you're a straight talker,
I am.
except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love the Today Show. You just go with whatever you say.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Except when you're not. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if I was Will Smith, I'd be livid today. Because now this life that you claim, I can't figure out how to divorce you, separate you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I wrote a book. Now I figured it out.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I'd be, if I was him, I'd be like, I'd stomp into the courthouse in LA today with all the paperwork ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, I figured out now how to divorce you because you're trying to push a book.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if he dragged her to one of those cheesy TV divorce courts?
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see. That would be worth it.
The power, one of the power couples of Hollywood.
That would be worth seeing.
That's why
right.
I say that I fully am on board that she just messes with him.
Your team
That
Will.
I am big team Will because it sounds to me like for years she's like, I can't quit you.
Yeah.
And now,
I made a promise.
Yeah, and now she's like, oh, my book's finished. By the way, I figured out how to divorce when we're going to talk about all that.
I've outed us in the divorce in the book. Yeah, crazy. The other, we've played this before, but on the Today Show once when they had Jordan Sparks on, Hoda did the same thing. She asked about her purity ring. And again, she had her facts wrong at that point. And she asked, you're wearing a purity ring. You're going to save yourself from marrying.
Now, I know you always wear a ring, a promise ring. You still wear your promise ring, or is that?
I have. You know what? I switch it from day to day. I don't wear it exactly every day anymore, but I have. I always have something there.
Yeah.
When I was 13, my mom, spoke to me about purity and waiting for marriage and different things like that. And at the time, I was like, sure, that sounds great.
Yeah,
for sure.
Sure.
But I can't say, what's going to happen a couple months from now or whenever.
Yeah.
Exactly. We just don't know what's going to happen. She was dating Jason Derulo at the time, and apparently the purity ring, Biggie has always suggested that he took it off with his mouth.
And spat it across the room.
Spat it out, and that was it. Now, from couples separating to couples getting together, this does my heart good. Billy Ray Cyrus is married again.
What? Jesus.
Yes, he's 62. He has married singer Fire Rose. She's 34.
What?
Fire Rose is her
Built
name.
to last.
Yes.
Fire Rose?
Fire Rose is her name.
Is it like on her birth certificate, is it Rose, fire?
No, it's one word, Fire Rose.
Like fire hose, but with an R?
Correct. She is an Australian singer. We chronicled this when they began dating. She's
You're right.
28 years his junior. They have gotten together and married now in an ethereal celebration of their love. And so they are married, and Miley Cyrus says couldn't be happier for her.
Well, I think Miley's mama got married, what, a month or two ago?
Correct. So
Or remarried.
They both
Okay.
they're married to other people now.
All right, you have to choose one. Kill yourself isn't an option.
Okay.
You have to spend a month with one.
Mm-hmm.
Billy and Fire Rose or Will and Jada.
I would go with Will and Jada.
Would you?
Yes, because I would be interested. First of all, I think Will Smith is an enormous star, so at least I can pick his brain about his movies.
Yeah, but I bet he cries a lot. Like, I mean, we're not dealing with Independence Day Will Smith
Independence
or
Day,
Men in
Fresh
Black.
Prince
You
Will.
know.
That's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with new host.
Yeah.
Chris Rock
And Jada's annoying.
Yeah, and she's done a number. She's done
done
a number on
right?
him.
Yeah. I'd still pick him though because I just feel like, well, now wait a minute. Do I get access to Miley if I'm with
Easy.
Billy Ray?
Well, you just want Miley's supplies.
I'll
For
tell you.
edibles.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. Miley's got a new song out called "I Used to Be Young" or "Young." And maybe it's just young. I've heard it 3 or 4 times, and I will tell you this: that song changed my life. That is a one. I don't have it for. I'm not going to share it with you. I'm not ready to share it with the world
Okay.
yet. I've heard it a few times, and as soon as you started,
Like Jada, you're not ready to share
I'm
it.
not ready to share it yet.
I made a promise to myself that I would not share it until I'm ready.
I made a promise to myself I would not share this song with you all naysayers, until I was ready to
Till
share
I'm
it.
ready and you're ready.
And I heard 3 notes of it, and I turned to my daughter who was in the car and said, "That's Miley." I mean, they didn't. It was on a radio. They didn't say who it was. And I turned to my daughter and I said, "That is Miley." And my daughter said, "So?" And I said,
Oh, that's right. You're in a car that doesn't have the display.
"No, I don't have a display.
Every car has a display.
I don't have a display. I just have my old school radio in my vehicle."
I know that Miley voice.
And I looked at that radio and I looked at my daughter and I said, "That is Miley. Get out of the way," because it is. And it was. And I love the song. I love the song. It's called "I Used to Be Young."
Up tempo, slow, sounds slower.
Slow. It's slow. It's all about having fun when you're younger. And now, you know, she did crazy, wild things because she was young. And I love it. I think it's going to be another hit for Miley. So I'd love to spend some time with
In
Billy.
case Miley comes over and hang out at the pool.
Comes over and... You know,
His ass. It's got to live with us for a month. Some weird bet. It was here, Will Smith's house. I don't know.
It was here or Will and Jada's house.
He chose y'all. Yeah, he chose us. He likes fire roast, so here he is. And he was hoping to meet you. I think we could do one of those jam sessions out in the backyard like she does sometimes.
Now, Fire Rose is Miley's age?
About 3 years older.
Okay.
That's it.
And where did they meet?
On the set of Hannah Montana.
Rez.
I mean,
what?
Billy Ray was on the set.
Yeah.
She was a guest star. They hit it off. You know, she
I'm
was
assuming
14.
a lot just from age and name, but you know she walks around naked like all the time, inappropriately.
Oh yeah.
Fire Rose, yeah.
Yeah, she's a naked walker.
Yeah, because you know he's like taking meetings or something, and here she comes through with like a plate of vegan something.
Yeah. You know,
yeah.
Our friend Pat Godwin, the Two Guys Named Chris comedy all-star, told us that when he was like 60, he dated a woman in her 30s. And he said she walked around naked all the time.
That's when he lied about his age?
Yeah. God, that's one of my favorite stories. He didn't tell it on the air.
Yeah.
And it was one of my favorite stories. He was 61, but he told her he was 51 and she was like 35. So he's always subtracted 10 years. Oh, and he said she was dumb as a box of rocks and believed it until they went to some college football town and there was somebody checking IDs going into the bar. And he's like, I didn't think I was going to have to pull out my license. I mean, obviously, I'm 60 years old. But the bouncer made him pull out his license. So he hands it over, and the guy goes, "Man, you were born in 1958 or whatever it was." And so she gets inside, and after like 2 minutes, she goes, "Hey, wait a minute." And then he told her, "Oh, wait, well, I have to lie and say I'm 10 years older than I really am because I did vaudeville, and they wouldn't let me perform."
It's just always stuck with me.
Vaudeville was like in the 30s.
The teens and 20s.
Yeah. He goes, my family, I grew up vaudeville, and in order to let me on stage, I had to pretend to be 10 years older than and she goes, oh, well, that makes sense.
Patty G.
Classic story. She walked around naked all the time. I bet Fire Rose does too.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you're right.